Your brother needs this more than you. My mother's voice rang out as she swept her arm across my lab bench, shattering years of research. Labeled slides, notebooks, and delicate equipment clattered to the floor. I stood frozen, watching my life's work crumble. My name is Sarah Mitchell. At 28, I had just received the prestigious Newman Grant for my research in neuroscience, becoming the youngest recipient in its history. This should have been the proudest day of my life. Instead, I was watching it burn. My father stood at the door, silently blocking any chance for escape. My brother, Kevin, leaned smugly against the wall, arms crossed like this was justice being served. He's trying again, Sarah, my mom continued, grinding glass under her designer heels. Kevin wants to go back to school. This money could change his life. The irony didn't escape me, destroying my research to help fund his education. I glanced at my phone, still recording, and knew the lab security cameras were capturing everything. I wanted my own copy. I'd learned to document everything when dealing with their twisted favoritism. Mom, I said calmly, the Newman Grant is non-transferable. It's tied to specific researchers and specific projects. You can't just hand it over to Kevin. Don't be selfish, Dad snapped, the familiar tone of disappointment cutting through the room. Your brothers had a hard time. You always had it easy. Easy. 8 years of grueling work, holidays spent in the lab, weekends sacrificed, while Kevin flunked out of college 3 times. You already have a job, Kevin chimed in, inspecting his nails. I'm the one trying to rebuild my life. When Mom reached for my main research cabinet, something inside me snapped. Touch that, and I'll press charges. Everything stopped. Her hand froze mid-air, her eyes widening. For once, they heard something they never expected from me. A line drawn. You wouldn't dare, Dad growled, stepping forward. Family doesn't destroy each other's work, I said, voice steady despite my pounding heart. And family doesn't break into secure labs to commit criminal damage. We didn't break in, Mom scoffed. We used Kevin's old key card. Smiled. Kevin's card was deactivated 2 years ago when he dropped out. Using it now. That's unauthorized entry. Add destruction of university property and attempted sabotage of funded research. And it's a serious crime. You're bluffing, Kevin said, but his voice wavered. Held up my phone. Still recording. Try me. Mom lost it. She hurled a speaker at the wall. You ungrateful brat. After everything we've done for you. I laughed, cold and hollow. Like when you used my college fund to pay for Kevin's first semester. Or skipped my graduation to bail him out of jail. Or now, when you're destroying my career to give him yet another chance. I earned this, Kevin shouted, finally breaking. I deserve it. You've had your chances, I said. 3 of them. You chose partying over studying every time. This grant isn't a chance. It's a reward for work already done. You can't deserve what you haven't earned. The lab doors flew open. Campus security rushed in, followed by Dr. Harrison, the head of my department. What the hell is going on? He asked, surveying the wreckage. These people are trespassing, I said calmly. They've destroyed university property and tried to sabotage awarded research. I have everything on video. I'd like to press charges. Sarah, please. Mom's voice turned desperate. We're still family. Security, Dr. Harrison said coldly. Escort them to my office. The board will want a full report. As they were led away, Mom pleading, Dad seething, Kevin shell-shocked, Dr. Harrison turned to me. Are you all right, Dr. Mitchell? I looked around at the ruins of my lab. No, but I will be. What I didn't know then was that this incident would spark sweeping changes. At the emergency board meeting the next morning, the footage played across a massive screen. Every scream, every shattered beaker, every entitled demand immortalized in HD. Dr. Mitchell, Dean Anderson said, brows furrowed. Can you explain how your family gained access to a restricted facility? Kept my voice steady. Kevin retained his old key card from when he was a student. I wasn't aware it still worked. I didn't need to say more. The footage said enough. What my family had done was unforgivable, and this time the consequences would be real. It should have been deactivated. It was, Dr. Harrison interjected, scanning his tablet. But somehow they reactivated it. We're investigating that breach separately. I wasn't surprised. Kevin had always been good at finding loopholes, just never doing the actual work required to succeed within the systems he gamed. On screen, the footage reached the moment my mother hurled a glass beaker. Several board members flinched at the sound of it crashing against the floor. Dean Anderson paused the video. We received the damage assessment this morning. Initial estimates put the loss at over $300,000. Equipment, materials, and potential delays to your project. My stomach turned. I'd known it was bad, but hearing the number made it real. $300,000 worth of destruction. All because my brother wanted something I had earned. Fortunately, I said, opening my laptop, I maintained off-site backups and redundancies for every phase of my research. The physical damage is significant, but the research itself is secure. Dr. Harrison gave a small nod of approval. He'd always valued my attention to detail. That's commendable, Dean Anderson said. But the larger issue remains. Your family's actions exposed serious vulnerabilities in our security systems, and their assumption that a grant like this could simply be handed over to someone else is troubling. I understand, and I fully support whatever legal action the university deems necessary, I said. My family needs to face consequences. A quiet fell over the room. I could feel the weight of their expectations. Surely I would ask for leniency, defend my family, try to smooth things over. That's what the old Sarah would have done. But I wasn't her anymore. A board member I recognized, Dr. Chen, spoke up. Your composure throughout this has been impressive. Most would have been too emotional to respond logically. I almost laughed. With all due respect, I've had years of practice managing my family's chaos. The only difference this time is that I'm no longer shielding them from the consequences. Dean Anderson leaned forward. Tell us more about that. About the history. So I did. I told them about my stolen college fund, the graduations they'd skipped, the years of being asked, no expected, to dim my own achievements so Kevin wouldn't feel overshadowed. I showed them emails, texts, patterns of behavior that had led here. This wasn't an isolated outburst, I said. This was the culmination of a long, calculated pattern of undermining my work to boost someone who hasn't earned it. I love my family, but I won't sacrifice my research or career for them ever again. The board exchanged glances. Dr. Harrison cleared his throat. We've reviewed your progress, Dr. Mitchell. Your work on neural regeneration is groundbreaking. The Newman Grant was rightfully awarded. We won't let anyone jeopardize that. Dean Anderson nodded. We've reached several decisions. First, the university will be pressing charges for criminal damage and unauthorized access. Second, we're upgrading security protocols across all research facilities. She paused, flipping through her folder. And third, we're doubling your grant funding. Blinked. I'm sorry. What? Your backup protocols saved millions in research, she explained. Your professional handling of the crisis showed exceptional judgment. The board believes you've more than proven your worth. I sat there stunned. Not only were they standing by me, they were investing more in me. There will be a press release this afternoon, Dr. Harrison added. We want to make it clear that this institution stands with its researchers and will protect their work. As I left the boardroom, my phone buzzed. The police are here. How could you do this to your own family? I didn't reply. Instead, I returned to my lab. Cleanup crews were already sweeping broken glass and gathering salvaged materials. In the daylight, the destruction looked even worse, but I felt no regret. My family had pushed too far, and now they'd face the consequences. What I didn't know then was that the university's press release would go viral and catch the attention of someone I hadn't heard from in years. Someone with a deep interest in my research. And an old score to settle with Kevin. By evening, my inbox was a blur, messages from universities, research groups, and foundations. The Newman grant was just the beginning. One email stood out. It was from Dr. Elena Martinez, director of the Global Neuroscience Institute. Dr. Mitchell, it began, your research impresses me, but your integrity impresses me more. I had a similar encounter with your brother Kevin 3 years ago when he attempted to take credit for one of our junior researchers' work. Let's talk. I leaned back in my temporary office chair as the pieces began to fall into place. Kevin's last failed attempt at graduate school hadn't ended in a simple dropout. It had ended in academic dishonesty. Now I knew where. Before I could respond, my phone rang. It was my grandmother, my father's mother, the only family member who had ever truly supported me. I saw the news, she said, skipping any pleasantries. Your mother's calling everyone she knows, playing the victim. But I saw the security footage. And Sarah. It's time you knew something about your inheritance. My heart stopped. Ron, your grandfather, didn't leave everything to your father, she continued. He created a separate trust for his grandchildren's education. Your father was supposed to tell you when you started college. Instead, he used Kevin's half for his business and kept your share hidden. I felt winded. All those years of student loans, late-night shifts, weekends sacrificed. There had been money for my education all along. I've already contacted the trust lawyers, Gran said, her voice steely. They'll be reaching out to you directly. It's not just about the money, Sarah. It's about the fraud. After I hung up, I responded to Dr. Martinez's email. Within an hour, we were on a video call. Your work on neural regeneration aligns perfectly with one of our upcoming initiatives, she said. We'd like to offer you a collaboration, full funding, state-of-the-art facilities, and complete protection of your intellectual property. Protection? Yes. She gave a grim smile. We've dealt with Kevin Mitchell before. We know what precautions are necessary when family feels entitled to your success. It was everything I had dreamed of, and more. But it would mean leaving my current university, starting fresh. As if reading my thoughts, she added, your university will remain a partner institution. Dr. Harrison speaks highly of you. We value collaboration. Later that day, security called. Dr. Mitchell, your parents are trying to enter the building again. Your father says it's about family business. Decide. Let me guess. He's wearing a suit and talking about lawyers. Yes, actually. Then that means Gran's lawyers have finally contacted him about the trust. Tell him all communication must go through legal channels now. You got it, Dr. Mitchell. That evening, while sorting through boxes of salvaged equipment in my temporary lab, Dr. Harrison stopped by. Global Neuroscience Institute, he said, leaning in the doorway. Impressive. You knew they'd reach out. I raised an eyebrow. He nodded. Elena Martinez is an old colleague. When this happened, I sent her your file. Your family tried to hold you back, Sarah. But ironically, they just launched you forward. 3 months later, I stood in my new lab at the institute. It was triple the size of my old one, equipped with tools I used to only dream of. I had a team now, brilliant minds working beside me. My inheritance had been recovered, with interest. Kevin's fraud had been fully exposed, permanently damaging any future academic ambitions. My parents faced both criminal charges and civil suits from the university and the trust administrators. My phone buzzed. A text from Gran. Saw your new research paper. Your grandfather would be proud. I am too. Dr. Martinez poked her head in. Ready for the board presentation. I glanced around at the lab, the space, the people, the energy, and felt something I hadn't known in years. Peace. More than ready, I said, following her down the corridor. As we walked, I thought back to that night. The shattering of glass, my mother's shrieks, my father's silence. They thought they were teaching me a lesson about loyalty, about family. But instead they taught me something far more valuable. That sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself is stop making excuses for the people who hurt you. My research was thriving. My career was soaring. And for the first time, I was free of the weight of my family's expectations. Sometimes destruction isn't the end. Sometimes it's the clearing of the ground so something better can grow. Dr. Mitchell, the board chairman said as I entered the conference room, we're excited to hear your progress. I smiled as I opened my presentation. Thank you. Let me show you what we've discovered. The lab they destroyed had marked an ending. But this was only the beginning.